The internet is on fire tonight. Fans are in complete shock. Word is, a key INEW witness has just flipped, and what they're claiming could blow everything we thought about the Lil Durk King. Von saga right out of the water. Rumors have been swirling for weeks. Whispers of secret deals, hidden recordings, and betrayal in the rap streets. But now, sources inside the feds are leaking that this flip might link Durk to details nobody saw coming. Betrayal, silence, and a courtroom standoff. It's like reality TV. But it's real life. There's talk the witness wants immunity in exchange for testimony that implicates someone even bigger than Durk. Meanwhile, social media is erupting. Fans are spitting receipts, tearing down fences, choosing sides. The streets are watching. The family is fractured. And one question hangs in the air. What truth is going to shatter the narrative? Stay tuned. You do not want to miss what's about to drop. It all started with a whisper. A few lines in a DM, some shady movement behind closed doors. And just like that, everything changed. For months, people thought the case was done, over, buried like too many other stories in the rap game. King Von was gone. Lil Durk was keeping his head down, and the streets. Well, they just moved on like they always do. But that piece? It was fake. And what nobody saw coming was how fast it would unravel behind the scenes. The feds never stopped watching, never stopped listening. And while fans were busy dissecting lyrics and screenshots, the FBI was stacking files, building a case, and waiting for someone to crack. That someone turned out to be a person nobody expected, a quiet name in the background. Part of the INU circle. Someone who knew Von and Durk personally. Someone who had been there when deals were made, when plans were whispered, when things went too far. They called him Witness X. And when he flipped, everything blew up. Nobody really knew what pushed him over the edge. Maybe it was pressure. Maybe it was fear. Maybe it was guilt. Or maybe he saw the writing on the wall and decided to jump before the ship sank. Either way, he went straight to the feds. And what he told them, it was enough to reopen everything. He didn't just talk. He brought receipts, audio clips, burner texts, old footage, and a ledger. That ledger, it had names, payments, times, a map of a night everyone thought had been lost in chaos. The agents listened. And as the words came out, their eyes widened. He claimed there was more to Von's death than anyone knew. Said there was a meeting, a plan, and a betrayal that led to the blood spilling in the parking lot that night. And according to him, Durk knew everything. He said Durk wasn't just reacting. He was involved. Maybe not pulling the trigger, but orchestrating the moves from the background. Like a chess player. Like a king who never gets his hands dirty. The feds were stunned. They'd heard rumors before. Had their suspicions. But this was different. As soon as word leaked that a witness had flipped, social media exploded. Fans were shocked. Timelines turned toxic. TikTok detectives were back in business. Old interviews were being clipped. Tweets from 2019 resurfaced. And people started asking, was this the truth or just a desperate man spinning a story? Some fans stood by Durk. Said the whole thing was a setup. Said Witness X was clout chasing, trying to save himself with lies. But others weren't so sure. The details felt too specific, too real. A clip hit Twitter, low quality, grainy audio, but in it, you hear a voice that sounds a lot like someone from Durk's crew. They're talking about a meetup, a location, and something going down that night. And then the voice says something that hits like a bullet. They say he not supposed to be there. Tell him to fall back. We got it covered. That one line, it spiraled into chaos. People started speculating who he was. Some said it was Von. Others said it was a rival. Some even guessed it was Durk himself. Nobody knew for sure, but the mystery only made the hype grow. Comment sections became battlegrounds. People were choosing sides. Some calling Durk a snake. Others calling Witness X a rat. And through all the noise, Durk stayed silent. No tweets, no posts, just silence. That silence spoke volumes. Then came the next leak, a page from the ledger. It showed payments allegedly sent from an offshore account. Coded names, but fans started decoding. One name kept popping up, a known affiliate of Durk's camp. Someone who hadn't posted in weeks. People were connecting dots, or maybe making dots up. Either way, the streets were talking, and once the streets start talking, it's hard to shut them up. In a podcast clip that went viral, a former insider said, "This ain't even about the streets no more. This about control, about loyalty, about who really runs the game." Meanwhile, Witness X disappeared, like completely off the grid. No socials, no statements. Insiders said he was under protection, maybe even relocated. The feds were keeping everything tight. Locked down, but even locked doors can't keep out the internet. A known leaker posted that the FBI had obtained surveillance footage from a gas station near the scene. Footage that supposedly shows more people were present than previously reported. People who were never mentioned in the police reports. People who may have had a role in what happened that night, and guess who allegedly appears in that footage? According to the leak, a major name in the industry. Someone with connections. Someone with clean hands. Until now, fans went wild. Redditors were posting frame-by-frame breakdowns of a blurred figure wearing a hoodie. Others were comparing shoes. Yes, shoes. Trying to match them to Instagram posts from years ago, and then, just when it couldn't get any messier, an old Instagram live clip from Vaughn surfaced. He was talking about snakes, fake friends, and watching your back, he said. People smile in your face, but they plotting. They ain't got your back, they waiting to stab it. People started connecting that to Durk. Said Vaughn saw it coming. Said this whole time there were signs, we just ignored them. But was it real? Was it a reach? Or was there really something darker happening behind the scenes? Emotions ran high. Old friends stopped following each other. Industry producers stayed quiet. Songs got delayed. Upcoming features were mysteriously pulled. Durk was spotted leaving a studio in La, head down, no comment. Paparazzi asked if he had anything to say. He didn't even look up. People started saying he knows it's coming. People started saying he knows it's coming. And maybe he does. Because the thing is, the feds don't move unless they've got something solid. They've been quiet, methodical, collecting every piece. And now, with Witness X flipped, with evidence being reviewed, and with the internet watching like hawks, it feels like something big is coming. But here's the real question. If Witness X is telling the truth, who else is involved? Because he hinted at something nobody expected. He told the agents that there was one more person. Someone higher. Someone who gave the green light. Someone higher. Someone who gave the green light. That line hit like a bomb. The agents paused. The room went silent, and Witness X leaned forward and said it again. This wasn't just between Durk and Vaughn. This was part of something bigger. And if what he was saying was true, then the streets hadn't even scratched the surface yet. He claimed there was a third party. Someone with money, reach, and a clean public image. Not a shooter, not a soldier, but a strategist. The kind of person who never touches a weapon, but makes the calls that lead to bloodshed. Witness X called him the Ghost. And according to the files, this person was allegedly involved in coordinating movements on the night Vaughn was killed. Not directly, but by proxy. Sending people, making calls, keeping tabs. Fans went wild again. Who is the ghost? Who's behind the curtain? People started posting their theories. Managers, label execs, even a big-name rapper with ties to both Durk and Von. The internet was deep in the rabbit hole now, and nobody was climbing out. The case was no longer about one death. It was about the system behind it. The friendships built on lies. The loyalty bought with money. And the silence kept with fear. While all this was going down, Durk's behavior changed. No more flashy stories. No more chains. He was moving quiet. Deleting old tweets. Scrubbing captions. He even postponed a tour date without explanation. Insiders said he was going through something personal. But fans already knew he was preparing. And then, just when things started to cool down, boom, another leak. This time, a phone call. Recorded months ago. Allegedly between Durk and someone from Von's old crew. The call was tense, aggressive. You could hear the paranoia. One voice said, "You think I don't know what you did?" The other shot back, "Watch your mouth before you disappear too." That one line. It was everywhere, turned into memes, auto-tuned into songs. Tweeted by rappers with cryptic emojis. It was either the most damning piece of evidence yet, or the biggest misunderstanding in rap history. And Durk, still silent. His camp said nothing. But lawyers were circling. Paperwork was flying. And fans knew something serious was brewing. The pressure kept building. And in the background, Witness X kept talking. He told agents that after Von died, there were meetings, cleanup operations. Money moved in silence. Favors called in. And the craziest part? He said someone outside the rap game was pulling strings. Not a rapper, not a manager, but a businessman? Someone with interests and labels. Someone who'd lose millions if the truth ever came out. Suddenly, this wasn't just about justice. This was about protecting an empire and Durk. He might have just been a piece on the board. But here's where it gets even messier, because around this time, something unexpected happened. One of Von's cousins, a known figure in the Atlanta scene, went live on Instagram. Drunk, angry, emotional, and he said the words that turned the internet upside down. He said, "You think we don't know who set him up? You think we forgot? Y'all keep playing with our pain like we won't go back to war." That live got clipped, reposted, dissected. Some called it grief. Others called it confirmation. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided. Some said Durk was innocent. Others weren't so sure. Cousins unfollowed each other. Cryptic tweets started flying, and fans, they were watching it all like a reality show they couldn't turn off. At the same time, the media was scrambling. Headlines started shifting. Big platforms that once protected Durk started asking tough questions. YouTube blogs dropped 10-part deep dives. TikTok detectives brought back conspiracy boards. And then, the burner account struck again. Remember that grainy footage, the gas station video? Well, a new version surfaced. Clearer, zoomed in. And now you could see more detail, more movement, more faces. One of the figures, the one in the red hoodie, moved like someone fans recognized. A rapper, not huge, but connected. Someone who had beef with Von a year before his death. Someone who, according to old tweets, had squashed things. But in this video, he was right there. Now the theories were spiraling. Was Von ambushed? Was the beef never really squashed? Was Durk in the loop the whole time? Or was he being played too? Because Witness X was now suggesting something nobody saw coming. That Durk might have been a pawn just like Von. Used, manipulated, controlled by people with bigger agendas. That idea hit hard, because if Durk wasn't the villain, then who was? And that's when another twist hit. A private investigator hired by Von's estate allegedly found records connecting the ghost to 2 other unsolved cases in Chicago. Same M.O, same type of victims, same people around. This wasn't just a coincidence. It looked like a pattern, a strategy: remove liabilities, protect the bag, and keep the rap machine moving. But if that was true, then why would Witness X flip now? Some said he had a crisis of conscience. Others said he was facing his own charges and needed a deal. But a few people, the real deep conspiracy crowd, believed something darker. They believed he was forced to flip, that someone inside the Ghost's network wanted Durk taken down. And Witness X, just a puppet being pulled into a bigger war. And the worst part, that war was just getting started. A subpoena gets delivered to a major label, and whose name is on the list of requested communications: Durk, his manager, and someone else, a name that's been redacted in every public document so far, someone fans have never seen before, someone who might be the ghost. And that's when the whispers turned into full-blown panic. When that subpoena hit the label, things changed overnight. People who used to move loud started moving quiet. Phones got disconnected. Meetings got canceled. Publicists started sending blanket statements to blogs, all reading the same line: "We are aware of the situation and are cooperating with all investigations." But fans weren't buying it. They could smell the fear in the air. The streets were buzzing like never before. Everybody wanted to know who was the redacted name on that subpoena. Who was the ghost pulling strings in the background? And, more importantly, how deep did this go? That's when rumors started to swirl that the ghost wasn't just some behind-the-scenes money man. No, this was somebody with power. Somebody who had been in the industry for over a decade. Someone connected not just to rap, but to business, sports, and even politics. Allegedly, he had a hand in artist development, owned silent shares in multiple labels, and even consulted for streaming platforms. Always behind the curtain, never in the spotlight. The kind of person who made artists, broke careers, and kept the machine running at all costs. And according to Witness X, the ghost had ties to Durk and Von long before either of them blew up. He claimed the ghost was instrumental in pushing both artists onto bigger platforms. Not out of love, but out of strategy. The streets were his chessboard, and Von's death just another move to protect the king. But here's the thing: kings don't always know they're being protected. Or played. Kings don't always know they're being protected. Or played. This was the twist that shattered everything fans thought they knew. What if Durk wasn't the mastermind? What if he was just another piece, one that could be sacrificed if things got too hot? Witness X said it best during one of his recorded debriefs. He said, "People think Durk was in charge. Nah, he was in orbit. The real decisions, they came from way higher. Durk just did what he was told, until he started asking questions." That line shook the room. Because if that was true, then the moment Durk started pushing back was the moment he became a target too. So now fans were asking, was Von silenced to protect the operation? And is Durk next? Meanwhile, inside sources claimed Durk's lawyers had filed motions to suppress certain evidence, including the gas station footage and audio calls allegedly involving his voice. They said it was misleading, out of context, and in some cases, illegally obtained. But the public didn't care about legal terms. They wanted blood. They wanted answers. And more than anything, they wanted to know who the ghost really was. And just when the heat couldn't get higher, a blog called out the unthinkable. They posted a breakdown of a music executive with silent ties to every artist involved in this case. Not just Durk, not just Von, but also the rapper spotted in the surveillance footage. The one in the red hoodie. The one who had beef with Vaughn years back. Turns out all three were once connected to the same production deal. Managed through a shell company based out of Atlanta. And guess who sat on the board of that company? That's right, the Ghost. Now the puzzle pieces started snapping together fast. Old lyrics started to sound like confessions. Old tweets looked like warnings. Even interviews where artists talked about being controlled took on new meaning. One clip from 2020 surfaced where Vaughn laughed and said, "I can't say too much." They watching. Nobody thought twice back then. Now? It felt like a prophecy. But while the internet was losing its mind, Durk was breaking down behind closed doors. According to sources close to his team, he hadn't been sleeping. Hadn't been eating. Just locked in his studio, trying to finish an album that might never get released. The pressure was eating him alive. Some say he was considering going public, doing a tell-all interview. Others said he was planning to disappear altogether. Fly overseas. Lay low. Ride it out. But then, something happened that changed everything. A hacker, allegedly from Europe, dumped a folder of confidential emails onto the dark web. And in those emails were communications between someone from Durk's team and a mysterious consultant. The tone was cold, professional, but one line stood out. He's starting to question the plan. If he flips, it all falls apart. The internet exploded. Fans started digging. Who sent it? Who received it? And who were they talking about? Most believed he meant Durk. And if that's true, then someone close to him was already preparing for the worst. The betrayal was real. The paranoia was spreading at this point. Durk had no choice but to move. A few days later, he dropped a single. No promo, no video. Just audio on YouTube. The cover was black. The title. 6 words that said it all. Trust no one, not even family. In the song, he didn't name names. But he said enough lines like, "They smiling in my face, but got me wired. They say it's love, but they really hired. And if I go down, they go too. I know things, they pray, I never do." It was raw, paranoid, emotional. And fans knew this wasn't just music. This was a warning shot. Then came the final twista. High-level informant inside the FBI investigation. Allegedly leaked that Witness X wasn't the only one talking. Any more someone else had flipped? Someone much closer to Durk. Someone in his day-to-day life. A producer. A friend. A blood relative. No one knows for sure. But whoever it is, they've already given a statement. And the feds. They're calling it a game changer. They're calling it a game changer because the second person who flipped, they weren't just close to Durk, they were practically family, always by his side, in every backstage pic, at every private party. The kind of face fans didn't question because they were always in the background, invisible. But everywhere, and now, according to court insiders, this person gave up details that even Witness X didn't know. Times, places, conversations behind closed doors. It was the type of intel that only someone inside the circle could ever know. The feds were stunned. Because while Witness X gave them the blueprint, this news source handed them the access codes. They allegedly confirmed the existence of a group chat, deleted months ago, where moves were planned and secrets were shared. It wasn't just about Vaughn. It was bigger, way bigger. And in those messages, certain names popped up that could flip the entire industry upside down. Rumors spiraled out of control. Some said artists you'd never suspect were involved. Others believed label heads were in on it. A few even hinted that the Ghost might not be one person at all, but a group. A shadow collective keeping the music industry in check by any means necessary. And in the middle of it all was Durk. Not as the boss, but as the fall guy. The label meetings got tense. His team started splintering. Old affiliates were ghosting him. Features went cold. Money started drying up. Some sponsors quietly pulled out. And Durk, the voice of the streets, started sounding like a man with no voice left. Paparazzi caught him leaving a lawyer's office in downtown La, wearing all black, face low, moving like he was carrying 1,000 secrets on his back. And the fans. They were more divided than ever. Half of them screaming "Free Durk," saying he's being framed, used, set up by the same system that failed Vaughn. The other half, accusing him of being the mastermind, the one who moved in silence and smiled while his brother bled out. The comment section wars got vicious. People were posting old videos of Durk and Vaughn laughing together, saying how could he? Others were dropping bar-for-bar analysis of lyrics from 2018 to now, saying the clues were always there. HASHTAGS started trending. #Justice for Vaughn, #FreeOTF, #The Ghost is Real, #Industry Plantation. Fan even claimed they cracked the code in an unreleased Vaughn freestyle, claiming he used metaphors to expose his enemies. Whether it was real or not didn't matter. It added gasoline to the fire. And then came the footage. A third leak. This time, security cam footage from a studio in Atlanta, time-stamped a week before Vaughn's death. In it, Vaughn is seen arguing with two other men. One of them believed to be from Durk's management. The audio is low, but fans enhanced it. Vaughn's voice is clear, angry. Vaughn's voice is clear, angry. He says, "Y'all think I'm stupid? Y'all moving funny. Don't forget who fed you." One of the men replies, "You stepping out of line. People above you don't like that." And then Vaughn says the line that broke the internet. "I ain't scared of the ghost." That one sentence confirmed every conspiracy. Every late-night podcast. Every red thread on Reddit. Vaughn knew, he was aware. And most importantly, he was fighting back, and now he's gone, fans lost it. Millions of views in hours. Rappers started subliminal posting. Influencers made 30-part TikTok breakdowns. Producers who hadn't spoken in years came forward to say, "Yeah, we always knew something was off. But what about Durk?" In a final, desperate move, he broke his silence. Went live at 3 a.m. No filters. No ice. Just a dark room, red eyes, and a man who looked exhausted. He spoke slow, broken. "They trying to make me something I ain't. They flipping people. I thought was blood. This *T bigger than me. Y'all don't know the half." And then he ended with, "If they take me down. Just know I wasn't the only one." Then the live ended. Within minutes. The clip was everywhere. Viral, analyzed. Debated, was it a confession? Was it a warning? Or was it just a broken man trying to clear his name? And while the fans were eating it up, the feds weren't watching from the sidelines anymore. They were preparing. Warrants were drafted. Flights booked. More subpoenas filed. The investigation, once silent, was now a full-blown firestorm. And in the shadows, the ghost or ghosts stayed silent. No leaks. No movement. Nothing. Because that's how real power works. And Durk. He knew it too. Industry insiders whispered that he was working on a deal. Maybe immunity. Maybe witness protection. Or maybe one final album. Something that would clear the air before the storm swallowed him whole. They said he wanted to name names. Drop everything. Tell the full story. From the beginning to now. No filters. No lies. But others say, he won't make it that far. Because when you start talking about the ghost, really talking, things happen. things that silence even the loudest voices. So now, everything hangs in the balance. Will Durk finally expose the truth,